President Biden says he will debate former President Trump ahead of this year's election, though he said he didn't know in what format. Listen.
I don't know if you're going to debate your opponent.
I am somewhere. I don't know when. I'm happy to debate him.
Thiessen, that was Fart Man interviewing Old Man.
Yeah. That's right. Yes. That's how
That's great. Of course. Yes, absolutely.
Or blackface.
Yes. That's absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So they're both in New York. Let's do this thing. We can turn this set into a debate stage in about half an hour, I think.
Great
let's do this thing right now. Look, if you can't debate, then you shouldn't be running for president of the United States if you're not capable of debating. And look, I'm not convinced this thing is going to happen. He said 4 times that he would defend Taiwan, and 4 times his administration, his staff walked it back. But you know, if it happens, it's great. I think not only should Donald Trump debate him, I think Donald Trump should show up at the vice presidential debate and say, I'm going to debate her too because she's the real candidate. Let's have Trump debate all of them.
Emily, a debate would certainly help Joe Biden avoid the teleprompter, 4 more years. Pause. However, President Trump would wipe the floor with Joe Biden, and that's an insult to mops.
That's right. That is why I think that he was not being truthful when he said that today. Of course he's not being truthful. I didn't take it as any iota of actually meaning it. He just says whatever comes out of his mouth. He agrees with whoever's speaking around him. I think Trump, however, should now double down on that and continue having the empty mics and the open podiums next to him like he did in Wisconsin and on the campaign trail when he was available and wasn't being persecuted here in the city. So I look forward to taking him for his word, and let's ask KJP about it too. Anytime, any place? Okay, great. What date? We'll be there.
Tammy?
Look, I think that in hearing the tone, it's interesting. Transcripts versus hearing what is said is key. So I'm really glad we had that audio because it almost sounds like he could have said those words to any question, right? Like, yeah, somewhere. It's like, are you going to have dinner tonight? Yeah, somewhere. I don't know where, but at some point. It could have been anything. Now, he did debate, of course, last time. And we do see him, like for the State of the Unions, I don't know if it's Red Bull or what it is that's happening, but they might pull it off. But as you've said, Mark, is that it's a matter of if you can't do this, then you can't be president. But he can't be president. We've seen that. We don't know who it is. It's a collective, I'm sure. So he's not. He's a mascot. It's like asking, the mascot on the football field to run the ball. You don't, and so he can't. This is something, though, that they want to hide him from. It worked in 20. They think it'll work again, but now they can't hide and they can't lie. And if Trump, maybe he says he's going to debate him, it's going to be over his oatmeal in the morning in his own head. I debate a lot of people. I'm debating people right now in my head. So if for America it's a problem, Donald Trump, though, I think will handle it. Whatever it is that happens, he'll be fine.
Kara, so the networks, all the major television networks, early in the month, released a joint statement inviting President Biden and President Trump to debate. And David Frum wrote an article, I think it was in The Atlantic, and said, President Biden's spokesperson should answer like this: the Constitution is not debatable. The president does not participate in forums with a person under criminal indictment for his attempt to overthrow the Constitution. This seems absurd, but this administration and that campaign will, by hook or crook, do anything to keep Joe Biden away from a stage and away from a microphone next to President Trump, I think.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly right. And if this does happen, what they're going to do, in my estimation, is they're going to delay until most of those mail-in votes have been cast, past July, when most of the electorate has already voted by mail in that case. So they might do it nominally. I don't know, as Tammy said, there's not enough uppers in the world at this point to get that man sentient. But at the same time, if they do it, it'll be very nominal. It'll be surface level. It'll be a data point, a check in the block when most of America has already voted, because they know that Joe Biden cannot do this. He's incompetent, period.
Yeah, it'll probably be a Nancy Kerrigan situation too, where like as Trump's walking out, they like snip the mic. Oh no, we tried, we showed up. There was a flat tire on Trump. I'm sure there's gonna be some sabotage.
And in terms of Howard Stern, oh, how that germaphobe has fallen.
Right. Hey everyone, I'm Emily Compagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.